Okay, welcome to our intro class today. We're excited to have you. I'm really excited for you to hear everyone else's stories as well. So my name is Ali Raskin. I have been using oils for about 7 years now. When I say oils, I'll say therapeutic oils with Young Living for about 7 years now. I had used oils in the past from the health food store and didn't have like any aha moments, but I actually got into natural health because I had a sick baby. And that started me down the path of really studying holistic health and nutrition and looking at the whole body as a unit instead of individual systems separately, because I was really struggling with my son, who was only 3 months old when he became very, very ill. So that journey, which was horrific at the time, led me to a beautiful place in my life where I learned a ton. And now I get to work with people all over the world on their health as an accidental thing. I actually was in high tech for 18 years and decided about 6 years ago that I really just wanted to help people with their health. That was way more fulfilling to me. So we have come a long way in our house. We are like everyone else in the world. We're normal people. And then this woman, me, a mom, needed to fix some things, some serious things with our baby. That also turned to resolving a lot of other health issues with myself, with my husband, with my daughter, all other things that were corrected along the way. So it's been a beautiful journey, and I'm super happy that all of you took the time to come to this class. I'm grateful that you've given us your time. So we intend to make it very valuable for you. I'm going to start off by talking about the worst part of this talk is really about toxins, because no one really wants to hear about this. Because we don't really want to hear the things that we probably shouldn't be more aware of that maybe we're not. But that is how my journey started. Is I was nursing this 3-month-old, this baby, and I luckily found a pediatric gastroenterologist that was smart enough to know that everything that I put on my body and in my body was making him ill through my breast milk, because he had a very unhappy body. And so some of the things that I learned along the way are pretty shocking. The average woman applies 130 unique toxic chemicals to her body before she even has her cup of tea or coffee or protein bar or whatever she has in the morning for breakfast. So why does that matter? It matters because these toxins that we use to either clean our home or clean our bodies or wash our hair or in our makeup, they go directly into our skin, which is our largest organ, which goes then into our bloodstream, which causes all kinds of issues like infertility and cancer and thyroid disruption, lung issues, you name it. There are so many issues that are caused by, frankly, just the toxins in our house. And what's beautiful about that, I know it sounds not very beautiful, but what's beautiful about that is that you will learn with this community of ways you can actually save a ton of money by replacing the things that have toxins in your home and finding that you can be just as beautiful, if not more beautiful, just as clean, if not more clean, and have all kinds of tools and remedies on your shelves. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is ways to avoid those toxins while really addressing the main issues of why we grab those things in the first place, right? So those toxins, they do accumulate over time. It's called bioaccumulation. And all that just means is that while a little bit may be okay, your body could handle, over time, as you're exposing yourself to toxin after toxin and product after product, that this accumulates into our liver and our kidneys and can really work a number on your body. And there's this huge trend now for what's called greenwashing. What does this mean? Greenwashing means that you have a beautiful label. It says green, it says natural, it says pure, and you're like, awesome, hook, line, and sinker, I'm in, right? Because I want to detox my house. But what you don't realize is that often these green products are even more toxic than their sister made by the same company that has the toxic label on it, right? So we really have to know better so that we can do better. And so just a quick couple of resources for you. There's a great website called ewg.org. It's global. You can type in any ingredient into it and it'll tell you the studies on that ingredient and if it's safe or not, what kind of health effects it can have on your body. Our goal with this community is to empower people. Typically women. There's definitely some men who come around. I see a couple of possible male names on here, but in general, we as women tend to be the gatekeepers of our home. We're the ones that go to the store. We're the ones that go online and buy the products for our home because we're typically the ones who dictate what comes into our houses. So I say that because we, as especially women who have children and have an impact on their lives, it's really, really important for us to impact the next generation, to make sure that they're not growing up with all the fertility issues and cancer issues and all the things that our generation has had to deal with. So it is my goal in life to inform as many people as possible on these things so that we can make better choices. And saying that is just, there's no judgment. We all started there, right? It's just the way of the world, right? Is this, we assume that we need these chemicals to be clean and to be beautiful, but the general rule is if it's not safe to ingest it. So if it says on the packaging, do not ingest, call poison control, which is what we have in the US. I don't know if you have, I don't think you have that in South Africa, but literally on our cleaning products, it says, if you swallow this, or then you need to call this telephone number about you have poisoned yourself, right? So the idea is that anything that says anything that's not safe to put on our skin or to eat, anything not safe to eat, we probably should not be putting on our skin or breathing in as a general rule. So it may not be your favorite smell, but if it's safe to eat it, then it's safe to use it. Now you can decide if you want to smell like that. That's a whole other story. But sometimes we use oils, not because we like the smell, but because we like what it's going to do for our body when we need it to do a particular thing. So what are essential oils? Essential oils come from the trees, roots, the leaves, the stems of plants. In the case of citrus oils, they are cold pressed from the rind of the oil. They have been used for thousands of years. Plants have been used for thousands of years for medicine. In fact, speaking of, yes, thanks, Bridget, for that reminder. In the US, we have oils with a specific label that says Vitality. Here's one as an example. This is, in the US, we have to separate the labeling for ingestion or for topical usage. In the last few years, the FDA has required that. For many, many years, they did not require that. We could say both safe for ingestion and for topical usage. In South Africa, you do not yet have the labeling to use internally, but it is the same oil, whether it's in the topical version or in the light, let there be light, or whether it's in the other bottle. So both, no matter what the label is, the oils are the same. So back to, thanks, Bridget, for the reminder there. So I'm not saying that there's not a place for Western medicine. In our home, we certainly try to use it more for diagnosis, and then we go to our plants to see if we have a remedy. And I will say in the last 7 years that we have been able to find a remedy for just about everything we've had to deal with. But what's really interesting to note is that this is extremely important, is in the early 1900s, that's when patent law came into play. That's when it became a thing, that you could patent something. Part of patent law says that you cannot patent nature. You have to modify nature to get a patent on something. So in the early 1900s, when patent law came into play and the chemical industry started to develop, they realized that they could copy the chemical constituents of a plant and make a synthetic version of them, which they could then get a patent on. So still today, the vast majority, I've heard around 85% of our medications, our pharmaceuticals, are actually still derived from a copy of a plant. So when you start to think about that, you realize, wow, if I could just go back to the plant itself, maybe I could have something that doesn't have the pages and pages of side effects when I pick up my prescription, right? And so that is the truth. And that's what many, many people in our community will tell you that we have been able to do, is we've been able to find natural remedies that are really, really powerful and very safe at the same time. So, okay, essential oils are super tiny from a molecular structure standpoint. So why does that matter? Well, when you modify a plant or you make a synthetic version of a plant, the molecular structure becomes much larger. And that matters because viruses live inside of cells. So when you think about that, an essential oil is so, so tiny it can actually penetrate through the walls of our cells and digest viruses. Very, very powerful, especially right now with world hysteria going on. So this is really like crazy mom empowerment that we have tools that can help address the yuck that's going around at all times when you're a mom. You know, no matter what's going on in the world, you know that your children will always come home with yuck because they are little petri dishes that we love so much. And that's their job, right, is to build their own immune system, and we can help them do that. The other thing that's really cool about essential oils is that there are over 100 chemical constituents, naturally occurring chemical constituents in each plant, at least 100. So you can be using an oil for one thing and be finding that it's remedying something else in your body. Or you can also use the same oil for many, many things. So you can find that one oil that's great for helping with your seasonal sneezes and things is also helping you sleep better, or it's also helping regulate and balance your blood pressure, which is really cool, is that we can be having positive side effects when using these plants. So there's lots of different grades of oils on the market. You can literally get oils like on the side of the road pretty much here in the US. I mean, they're just everywhere. It's all the rage. And what you'll find is that there's a huge disparity in the quality of what you will find on the market. The vast majority of essential oils sold today is perfume grade essential oils, which basically means it's for the smell, which means it can be full of all kinds of toxic chemicals. It doesn't even have to be the plant that says on the bottle because there's no regulation globally for essential oils. So you can have the wrong plant, you could have a fragrance in there. And again, back to that labeling of pure and natural, like this literally is a marketing term. It has no teeth. Pure and natural mean nothing. And even organic can be up to 15% organic in the States. I don't know the exact amount. And I think in Africa, if it says organic, it only has to have 1 drop of organic, something organic, and it doesn't even have to be the oil. It can be a carrier oil that it's put in. And the same thing for the States. So it could be 5% chemically derived or a literal synthetic fragrance in a carrier oil that's organic, and they can call it USDA organic as long as it's only 5% chemical. So that just really kind of makes you step back and say, well, how do I know what I'm getting, right? And that's really why Young Living comes into play here. So at the time that I was on this crusade for my child, I was literally buying meat on the side of this, like would meet a rancher. I live in Texas, so there's ranchers that live outside of the city. And I would meet a rancher on the side of the road when they came through town. We would coordinate because I had to know what the animal ate before I could eat it, because whatever that animal ate when I ate it could make my child sick. Like this is at the level that we were dealing with in my home. I was growing my own fruits and vegetables. Like I had to know what everything was because my son was so sensitive. So I just want to give you a piece of my mindset on when I started looking into essential oils. Like I had to know everything that went on to my person for my baby. So when I ran into Young Living, actually one of my best friends, I was traveling with her to a natural health conference. And she told me that she had just started using these oils and they were so amazing and powerful and I had to try them. And so I started asking all the questions. Are they organic? Where are they grown? And what I have learned and have experienced firsthand, Young Living is the only company that has their own farms and their own distilleries. They are beyond USDA organic, meaning that they prepare the soil for twice the amount of time. There is 0 chemical use, not up to 5%. There's no pesticides, there's no herbicides. It is literally the best selected seeds that go into the ground. And all the way through the process, everything is done in the most organic way that's possible and sustainable, which is even as if not more important, that everything that Young Living does is to be sustainable for our earth. I have gotten to spend actually several weeks on our farms through the last few years. And so I can attest first person to how these oils are grown, or these plants are grown, how the oils are distilled, because I've helped plant them, harvest them, and distill them. So I know how it's done. So Young Living is also a very special company. I came from corporate America, multi-billion-dollar for-profit companies, and Young Living is still a privately held, family-owned company. And I say this with it's like the best thing in the world. The first time I ever went to a conference, that Young Living has a convention once a year, typically in non-COVID years. And I got to go to the convention my first year, literally just as a user, like just because I wanted to see what this was all about. And I was so blown away by just the mindset of the company that's when I decided that I wanted to start telling other people about it, because I thought to myself, like, what other company says we make things for a purpose, not for a profit? Like, I came from a very profit mindset in the business world. And this was a company that was not their end game. Their end game was to empower people with their health, and also with a purpose and the ability to have financial freedom, which is beautiful. The founders did not believe in people having to pay for natural health care, which is why they set the company up like they did. Was, you tell someone else and we send you a thank you for doing that. We're not going to sell it in stores. We want people to be able to help other people and then pay for their own healthcare, which is pretty amazing. Okay. So I think I'm going to, let's see what's next on my list here. Yes, I'm going to hand it over to Jackie now to talk about how to use. I'll be right back. I left my water outside.
Okay, sure. So, hi everyone, I'm Jackie, all the way from South Africa in a small town, Kleinmond. It's very close to Cape Town. So I'm going to talk to you about 3 ways to use essential oils. So just with the background that Ali just said, the quality of Young Living oils is extremely high. So the 3 ways to use oils is, the first one is to ingest it orally, to use it topically, and either inhale or use a diffuser. So with ingesting, like Ali mentioned, the Young Living oils specifically are 100% pure with no synthetics, so they are safe to ingest. And like in the United States, they have the Vitality range, as Ali explained. It's not yet in South Africa, but remember, it's literally just the label that's different. It's exactly the same oil. So we don't have that labeling yet in South Africa, so we're not allowed to market it as safe to use orally, but you can. And it's got multiple benefits. So how you use it orally is you can actually put it into a vegetable capsule and take them as a pill. So you would drop a couple of drops of oils into a capsule and mix it with an oil if you don't want a oil burp, and then drink it as you would a capsule. Examples, for instance, is to mix lemon, grapefruit, and citrus fresh for a nice wellness blend. You can also make your own oral antibiotic with oregano and et cetera, et cetera. So what you also can do by ingesting oils is that you can add drops of, for instance, lemon to your water, which has multiple benefits. But remember to always use glass or aluminium. When you put oils in plastic, specifically Young Living oils, the oils will actually pull the toxin from the plastic, and then you can inject those toxins. So we always advocate to rather use glass. And then the last way to use how to ingest oils is to make a honey sandwich. And this is especially helpful for children as well. If you have to actually ingest an oil, just put a little bit of honey in a teaspoon, drop the drops of oil onto the honey, and then add a little bit more honey over that. We call that a honey sandwich, and just ingest the teaspoon of honey and oil. So we do that mostly daily in our homes. So our favorite way to ingest oils is by drinking drops of thieves in our tea, and we absolutely love it, and it keeps us healthy. So absolutely love it. So the next one is topically, and that is literally to apply oils onto your skin. So remember, your skin is your body's largest organs, and essential oils, like Ali said, the molecular structure of the essential oils, specifically Young Living, is extremely small. So they are rapidly absorbed by the body or by the skin. So rapidly, like in 30 seconds, they enter your bloodstream, and within 30 minutes, they actually work on cellular level, which is amazing. So how do you apply it? You can actually apply, for instance, let's say you burnt yourself while cooking, you can apply lavender just neat as is on the site. Or if you have knee or joint pain, you can apply Pan-Away, for instance, is one of our blends, directly onto the site. Or you can apply oils to your VitaFlex points, also known as reflexology points. That's underneath your feet, on your spine, hands, and the bottom of, like I said, at the bottom of your feet. And why we put oils on the bottom of our feet is because with over 2,000 pores on each foot, and those pores being some of your largest on your body, applying oils to the bottom of your feet is a great way to absorb the oils quickly into your body. So 2 rules when you apply oils topically is, remember, there's only 2 places you should never apply oils, and that's into your eyes or ears. And if for some reason you do get some oils in your eyes, it will happen. It has happened to me quite a couple of times. Remember to not rinse an oil with water. It will only make it worse because it doesn't absorb. So if you, for instance, had a nice peppermint that you used and you rubbed your eye, just take a carrier oil, coconut oil or any carrier oil. I find that the coconut oil was just the quickest to get rid of the sting, and just rub coconut oil over that. That really helps. And also, if you apply oils to the skin and it feels kind of hot, for instance, clove or even peppermint, you can always mix it with a carrier oil. We will speak about carrier oils as well. And I always say when using oils topically is, when in doubt, dilute. So if you're not sure, can I put this oil neat on my skin, you can always dilute it. It will also stretch your oils a bit further. And then the last way to use your oils is either by inhalation or diffusion. So diffusion is by diffuser. You get a diffuser like this in your starter kit in South Africa, which is absolutely gorgeous. And this is the ultrasonic diffuser. So it disperses the tiny molecules of essential oils into the air, which then gets absorbed by the body. And it's also a great way for children, or a great way to use for children to actually absorb the oils. Or you can actually make a scent tint with your hands. So you will drop a drop of essential oil in your hand, rub your hands together, and then cup your hands over your nose like that, and inhale it for a couple of seconds. And that works wonderful, especially for, like Ali mentioned, seasonal changes. If you have some seasonal symptoms in your nose, a blocked nose, it really helps to open up the airways, or even just to calm you down a bit. So that's basically it. And I think next up is Ali again for, let's just check, talking about the kits. Yes.
Yes, so I wanted to explain that Young Living started off as a supplement and essential oil company, and through member requests has become truly a lifestyle company. So in the States, and I know I hate to say this with so many people international, but we have 800 products in the US. So we have a ton of products. So that's kind of overwhelming for new people, is, you know, we have at least 300 essential oils alone. So where do you start? Oh my goodness, what do I do, right? So what Young Living has done is a beautifully curated starter kits. They look very similar to this in all of the countries. And in the starter kit, you will find a collection of essential oils that is the most versatile, the most commonly used essential oils. Every single one of these kits has oils to support the digestive system, the immune system, muscular system. So you're going to find pretty much every system can be supported with this starter kit in like many different ways, except for really your hormones. So once we start to get into hormones, that's when you kind of like start delving outside of the starter kit. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through some of the reasons that we use a starter kit. And because of the power outage issues in South Africa, the first one that we're going to do is actually was a video that was sent to me by Allison. So I'm going to share my screen for her to speak for herself. See if I can, there we go. Share. Can everyone see Allison? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry that I'm not able to join you live and in person tonight, but with load shedding here in South Africa, it's unfortunately not going to be possible. I just wanted to chat to you tonight about a few of my favorite oils from the starter kit. I've really experienced so much success with all the oils in the starter kit since I started using these oils consistently 9 months ago. But I've got a few favorites that I find I'm using more and more as I get to know them, and I find how versatile they are. All the oils in the starter kit are so versatile, and that's why it's such a fantastic thing to start off with. But I just want to start first to tell you a little bit about my go-to in winter, and anytime I'm feeling a little bit unwell, is Thieves. Thieves to me is your powerhouse, antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. It's great for toenail infections if you just put it right underneath the nail and right along the cuticle and the nail bed. Works really well for that. I also, if I feel a sore throat starting, I take 1 drop of Thieves and place it underneath my tongue, so that's sublingually. I bear the burn because it is a hot oil, so it does taste really hot, but it is worth it. It goes straight into my bloodstream underneath the tongue, works really quickly, and if I take it at night, by the next morning, my sore throat is gone. And so far, touch wood, I have been absolutely fine this season and throughout COVID, and I really attribute that to diffusing Thieves and using it orally. Another one I just want to tell you about is purification. My daughter has 2 rats, and as much as we love them, the cage does get a little bit stinky. So between cleans, once a week, I put a couple of drops of purification on cotton pads, and I dot them around the room, and it honestly takes away the smell. It smells lovely in the room when you go in there, and it lasts from 1 week to the next, which is great. Another use that I've used purification for is if I feel like I've got a slightly sore ear, I will take 1 drop of purification on my finger, and I will rub it behind my ear on each side, and it really seems to help the ache. Purification and lavender are really good for treating mild cuts and scrapes, as they both are antibacterials, they're antifungals, so they're also anti-inflammatories. So they really do work well for cleaning cuts and wounds. My next one I want to talk to you about is lemon. I love drinking lemon. I put a couple of drops in my water, along with orange as well. It's also delicious. I've made lemon cake, lemon icing. There's so many things you can do with lemon. But what really impressed me with lemon, I had a big watermark on my dining room table from a wet towel that got left there by mistake. And I put 4 drops of lemon oil onto the stain. It was a fresh stain. Put it on, put salt over it, rubbed it in, repeated this 3 times over the course of 24 hours. And I'm pleased to say that the watermark is gone. So lemon really has a multitude of uses, which is wonderful. Okay, now, I often suffer from headaches. My daughter also suffers from headaches, and my husband. So this next combination for me was vital. I put 1 drop of eucalyptus, 1 drop of peppermint, and I normally do 1 drop of frankincense into the palm of my hand, smooth it around, get my hands nice and warm, and then I make a scent tent where I put my hands over my nose and I breathe in deeply 3 times, just for all the oils to be inhaled completely, and then I wait, and normally within 20 minutes to half an hour, my headache disappears. I like to add the frankincense because frank is such a calming oil, a centering oil, and it also helps to uplift your mood. So if the headache's making you feel a little bit down, this frankincense is amazing. I also occasionally add the lavender to that. So the peppermint, the eucalyptus, and lavender, just for calming. Lavender is also a great anti-inflammatory. So it just helps to calm everything down, and it really helps with the headaches as well. Then I sometimes put Vela on as well. I love Vela. Vela has helped me in so many situations where I've needed to speak publicly, or if I'm going into a difficult meeting, I put some Vela onto my wrists, I put it across my neck or on my forehead, and honestly just helps me feel I can do this. So Vela gives you a wonderful feeling of self-confidence, a feeling of self-esteem. It's a great oil. And then my last testimony for tonight is back to frankincense. I was with someone a few weeks ago who was spiraling down into a panic attack. I luckily had my frankincense with me. I put a couple of drops on my fingers. I wiped it underneath their nose, put some on their forehead, and I rubbed some on the top of their head. And within 15 minutes, the person had calmed down enough to prevent a full-blown panic attack, which is wonderful. So, wonderful results with frankincense. The more I use this, the more I love it. I'm never without frankincense in my house now. Anyway, thank you so much for joining, and I will pass back to Annie now.
Okay, I think next up is, I don't know, I wanted to see if Emily would be okay talking. How's your head? Are you okay sharing a story?
Sure, I can share a story. Just about one of my favorite uses for oils. In Texas, we also head out to a ranch every now and then, and there are, I don't know what else to call that. We call them chiggers, and they kind of like get under your skin, and then they like just itch, and it's terrible. And so I had gotten a bunch of chigger bites on my legs and just crazy itchy, and I wanted to try natural solution. And so I did a carrier oil with wintergreen and tea tree and a little bit of lemongrass, and it was the most incredible just relief. I feel like the wintergreen gives you that tingly feeling, and Allie's told me that it has some of the same constituents as aspirin, and so it really just helps so much with those bug bite itches. My daughter stepped in a pile of fire ants the other day, and so she literally was carrying around her little roller ball with her all the time and just loves it. Another one that had been really helping me at work. I'm working at home, and my kids are schooling in another room, and there are other crazy things going on. So focus was very, very difficult. And so I put lemongrass in the diffuser, which just helps me focus. It just, for whatever reason, that's my focus. And then I've noticed too, I've been keeping a pitcher with chilled water and dropping in the lemon and the orange, and that has just been incredible. And it really, I don't get like hunger or need snack breaks like I used to. So I don't know if that's unique to me or if that's what other people experience, but those are a couple of my faves. And we also started with some of the CBDs, which I know isn't in this class, but I'll save that for another time.
Yes, we do have CBD starter kits in both South Africa and in the US, coming soon to a country near you, I hear, in other countries as well. So CBD is amazing, same seed to seal quality as the essential oils. So we can mention them at least, Emily. So thanks for bringing them up. Okay, so Julie, do you mind going next?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I definitely started with oils just for the fun of it. I wasn't necessarily trying to solve an issue. I was just a highly creative person, and the idea of replacing my candles with something that I could create every day based on every mood just seemed like really fun. And so I am highly affected by smell, as a lot of people are, but you know, the idea of having a home that's welcoming, that people walk into and feel like smells good, is really important to me. Not right now because, you know, pandemic, but at other times in life when people actually come over, it's really important to me that my house smells good. And I also, you know, have a lot of feelings of nostalgia connected to feelings like, hello, fall. Are we ready or are we ready? That's more for our North American people. I know you guys are looking forward to more of a spring because it's cold there, but either way, there are smells that I connect memories to so strongly that I loved the idea of being able to play around with that in my home. And so I really started 4 or 5 years ago. Allie kind of showed me the oils, and I fell in love with the fun of it. Along the way, though, a lot of times when you use new products, you find things that are side effects that you don't love. In this case, I found side effects that actually were so much more of an added benefit that I never even expected. I never looked at oils for health or support for cuts or anything, really, any issue. I didn't really connect the dots, to be honest. And so when I started really looking into the ways that you can learn about the oils, which I will touch on later in the call, I fell in love with them even more deeply. And some of the ones that we use in our house that are our favorite are I will say, first and foremost, Stress Away, which in South Africa is YL Haven. And it smells like a little bit of vanilla and cedar wood mixed with lime. And we go through bottles of this. If I could dip my husband into a bath of this, I would. And he would do the same. I mean, sometimes he hands me this bottle and he's like, honey, happy wife, happy life. Put it on. Take a deep breath. So like this oil we use a lot. It is super helpful in our house for emotional support and just feeling our best. Another oil that we use a lot is Peace and Calming. I don't really know what it says about us that we use a lot of emotional oils in our home, but I think that's maybe where we need the most support. But Peace and Calming, we put on my daughter every night. She's 2 years old. We like to call her a teenager because that's how we feel about her attitude sometimes. And we put Peace and Calming on her feet every night before she goes to bed. In fact, now she dictates. She's kind of like a 2-year-old dictator. She dictates where we put on her oils. Sometimes she wants them here. Sometimes she wants them on her back or her feet. But this helps her sleep. It helps her calm down. She feels comfortable in her room when she otherwise wants to sleep with us. This has been a game changer for the adults in the house to have some time away from the teenager for her to go to bed. And then, you know, we've just kind of played around. Like I love adding oils to my water. I love adding oils to the diffuser and mixing them together. I find that I like Citrus Fresh because I think the spearmint that's mixed in there is really delightful. My husband, not so much. I don't love lavender. I know, I get it. People love it, but I don't love it. But it is the Swiss Army knife of oils. It does everything. I'm still a good mom, but I accidentally gave my daughter a paper cut and we put lavender along with cypress, but we put lavender on it immediately. And she knows, she's like, oil. It was one of her first words. I mean, I'm raising this child right. So anyway, these oils are making a huge difference in our life. We're having a lot of fun. We're seeing a lot of support. I love the community of women that I get to talk to, and I just really like exploring the uses that work for us personally in our home, and learning what other people are finding helpful. So yeah, I mean, they're worth giving a try because, I mean, who doesn't need more fun in their life?
Jackie, I think you're up.
Sorry. Julie, I thoroughly enjoyed your story and I'm with you all the way there. So thanks for that. Sorry, ladies. I just quickly want to get to my notes. So I'm going to talk about 3 ways to save money. That's right, Ali, hey? Sorry. So I've got my beautiful kit here that we get in South Africa, and I'm going to just open it up quickly. So I bought this for my mom, who's coming to visit this weekend, and she doesn't know that I bought her a kit, so this is hers. But what you get is, this is a starter kit, a premium starter kit in South Africa. So this is one of the kits that you can buy, and this costs 2,268 Rand. But these 10 oils together with a diffuser is worth over 4,000 Rand. So it's really a great way, if you're into oils and you don't know where to start actually start with a starter kit, because you get 10 oils, which is basically, we like to say you can replace everything in your medicine cupboard with each of these oils. So they've covered most of the oils in the stories already, but you get thieves, frankincense, arshi, lemon, citronella, orange, lavender, vala, peppermint, and eucalyptus. And it's really, you can literally use every oil for basically everything in your house. So I would say, if you have to choose a kit, go for the premium starter kit. This is really worth your money. But like Ali also mentioned, there is other kits as well that you can use. So you can also use the CBD kit. We have a Thieves cleaning range kit, and a Ninja kit. So we haven't talked about Ninja yet. But then as well, how to save money with Young Living is, there's a great program which they call the Essential Rewards program. So what happens is, when you actually sign up with Young Living as a member, the moment you sign up, you forever, when you're part of, for as long as you're part of Young Living, you will get 24% discount on all oils and all products, which is absolutely wonderful. So I've been part of Essential Rewards for about 8 months, and I would really say financially, it's definitely worth it. Don't just join and order oils every month without joining ER, because it's not really worth it. At least with ER, I always say it's like in South Africa, the Dis-Chem rewards or the Clicks rewards. It works on the same basis. You also get a percentage back of what you spend, and you get free oils every month that you order. So that is absolutely wonderful. For the first 3 months, you get 20% back on what you order. And then after that, up to 2 years, you get 25% back. And then after that, you get 10% back for the first 3 months. Sorry about that. 20% back up to 2 years, and then 25% after that. So I have to say, just out of my August Essential Rewards that I've ordered, I got the products or the oils that I got for free was over 3,000 Rand. So I actually calculated it, and I was so shocked. It was almost worth more than my order. So just to give you an idea. And for instance, one of the products, it's a class on its own, but the Thieves household cleaner, I ordered it when I joined Young Living, and I only ordered my second bottle now. So it really lasts a long time, and I used it for everything, even in my hand washing. So that's great. And then the best part of Young Living is, obviously, like Julie also said, you use it just for fun, like I also did, and you fall in love with it, you tell your friends, and the moment you tell your friend and your friend signs up because you told her to, and she's also going to love the oils, Young Living actually compensates you for telling your friends. So if you sign up with the Essential Rewards program and with your starter kit, and your friend signs up with the same, you also get 570 Rand back. So that's the first step. And if you continue to tell people, the more people you tell, the more money you will get back. So in the end, I have to say, just by loving the oils and sharing my love for the oils, I've actually made an extra income the last couple of months, which has really helped in this global pandemic time that we found ourselves in. So we won't go wrong with saving with Young Living. Back to you, Ali.
I'll jump in and talk about ways to learn. So if you're there thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to get in on this fun, then do not feel overwhelmed, because we have so many ways for you to learn how to work with these oils and use these oils in your everyday life. And one of it is, my favorite part is the community. Like, we have a WhatsApp group, and we have connections to so many women who are so open to sharing and who use the oils in 1,000 different ways than I would ever have thought of on my own. And so that's what's so great about it, is that you really can just ask the question and you get 17 responses of different ways or different things to try. And it just gives you a lot of flexibility, which I appreciate, because I'm independent and I want to do it my own way. And so I love the community, and I've connected to a lot of women who I can really talk to about these oils, and they help me figure out new ways to use them. A couple other ways is that we have a Facebook group. And it not only shares information on the classes like this one that we do, and we do tons of classes a month, and some of them are basics and some of them are specialty. And so you really get to kind of go deeper into subjects that you might be more interested in versus others. And then the Facebook group is another community that you can really just pose a question and you get a lot of support. You also get a lot of information about out of stock items or shipping or that sort of thing. So in terms of just general customer service, not only do you get that on the Facebook group, but Young Living has an amazing live chat option that, and it's a really easy way to connect with them to work through orders if you ever have an issue. And then the other thing is there's an app, and it's a reference guide. I have a printed version, but it does come in an app version. And I mean, I'm never going to get through this, but it is something that I reference on a daily basis. So, I mean, I can look up 1,000 things that somebody can ask me a question about. I'm not the expert. I don't have to be the expert. And so I think that's what's really nice about working with the oils and playing around with them, is that you don't have to own all the information, but you have real resources that you can share with other people who might be interested and that you can use for yourself. So there, and then there's like the Fun Young Living blog, which gives you diffuser blends and tells you fun things about maybe an oil blend or an oil that you may have never thought of before. And you kind of learn new things to add to your monthly ER order, because that's what earning the points is about, is to like put that money onto something you wouldn't normally buy and try something new for yourself. You do you. So so there's tons of support, tons of love, and a lot of resources to help you get started. And so now I will pass it back to Jackie on how to, Allie? Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. So basically, just please make sure to reach out to the person that invited you to this class. They will help you get started in the best way for you personally, for whatever you need. And they also will connect you to, I saw requests for the Facebook group. So they'll make sure you have the links to the WhatsApp groups and the Facebook groups and be part of our community. And that's really the most important thing, is that you please reach out to the person who connected you to this class so that we can help support you on your journey. If you are interested in the potential income opportunity, which is always optional, never required with Young Living, but if you are interested, we have a class tomorrow, same time, same link. So if you want to learn more about that, that is an option for you tomorrow. If you have any other questions, I'm going to stop the recording and